homeowners here in Louisiana, today is the day that many of you will see that coverage expiration if you had Southern Fidelity Insurance.
UPC Insurance is the latest in well over a dozen companies to leave the state.
Florida-based FedNat is the latest insurance company unable to pay its debts.
The insurance just went up sky high. After the last hurricanes, insurance kept going up high and high, and I just couldn't afford it.
When I purchased this house before Katrina, my insurance was $1,200. As of my last renewal, my insurance was almost $12,000.
Almost half of the claims in Louisiana are being closed, just being denied after people pay their premiums.
The majority of my wealth is my home. And if my home is destroyed and I still have a mortgage that I have to pay, but I don't have insurance, then the majority of my wealth is gone. I'm paying a mortgage for somewhere I cannot live. Now I have to pay rent to someone to live. I still may have a car note. I still may have tuition. I still have my normal bills with our electricity and water. That really brings a person down to their needs.
Now I'm paying an additional, X amount for flood insurance that I never had to pay before. If I wanted to sell my home now at what it was appraised for, what it is appraised for, and get the same, square footage and what I have now on the west side of town, that's on higher ground, that may still be in a flood zone, but it's not in an extreme flood zone, I would be paying almost double. My house was appraised for about $150,000. I'd be paying almost $230,000 for a 3-bedroom. And that is a lot of the same situation that a lot of our people are in. Because who's going to come in and buy our homes at what they're worth, and with the new flood prices, flood insurance prices, and the increase in the property insurance. Mine is just ridiculous. I bought it in 2017. I started paying home insurance at $1,200. Last year, Louisiana Citizens quoted me at $9,500.
We're seeing the same thing, which is both banks and insurance companies are pulling out of areas, coastal areas and things like that, or areas where there are a lot of fires. So what that is going to mean is that, if you fast forward 10 or 15 years, there are going to be regions of the country where you can't get a mortgage, there won't be ATMs, there won't, the banks won't have branches and things like that.
We already don't have the bank that was here anymore. We already we barely have a post office.
So what is widely predicted, including recently by a board member of the biggest insurance company on the planet, is that uncertainty and added risk in the natural systems caused by fossil fuel pollution makes insurance, particularly property insurance, untenable, which makes mortgages unavailable, which crashes housing prices, and that is predicted to lead to a 2008-style economic meltdown to the entire economy.
Lawmakers and regulators must require insurers to pay claims, provide adequate coverage, and charge reasonable rates. Lawmakers and regulators must ensure that communities aren't bearing all of the costs related to climate change. Industries creating the risks and costs must assume their fair share of costs, while also reducing the risks they're creating.
The business community have bought into all these oil and chemical plants emitting CO2 into the air, causing climate change, and there's nothing to worry about. Just go on with your life. until the hurricanes are more frequent, until you got tornado warnings every time there's bad weather, and until we have our neighbors asking us, help us fix our roofs, help us fix our windows, you know, then you realize that the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer.